All right. We'll get started, and if people join, we're going to have a Q&A session at the end. And so if they miss something and they want to get back to it, then we'll do that. So my name is Lauren Woodburn. I am a performance coach for junior golfers, and this is Mark Cormier, and he's a physical fitness coach for elite junior golfers. And so if that is you, you are in the right place, or if that's where you're headed. We're excited to have you here, and we're going to talk a little bit about who we are, what we do, and then a little bit about what you can start doing to start getting out of your own way, to start excelling and playing at an elite level, both mentally and physically. So we both know the struggle of working hard and putting in the hours and not seeing all the results that you want. And we have both learned that focusing on your mind and body is a way to level up and get to the top of the leaderboard without spending more time at practice or more time obsessing over your golf. And so our stories are both kind of unique. I started out Washington State in the United States. I started playing junior golf when I was 13 in the 8th grade. My dad got me a new set of clubs, and we started playing 9 holes every day before school. And that was awesome. And I started to love it and excel. And it was great. I got to compete. And I was lucky enough to be able to play college golf at a Division I school and go to nationals. And it was an awesome experience. And I was a good college golfer, but I wanted to be great. And we worked with a sports psychologist, and what he was teaching me about my brain and how that worked, I knew that was the missing component. My mental part was the missing component, because I could hit the ball as well as anyone. And so when the sports psychologist would work with us, everything he taught made sense, but I didn't know how to apply it and how to kind of use it to my advantage. And so when I found coaching a couple years ago, a light bulb went off, and I just realized that these were the tools. If I would have had, I would have been such a different golfer. I would have had more confidence. I would have had a better plan. I would have practiced more efficiently, and it would have totally changed the game for me. And so I decided to become a coach and work with junior golfers who want to play collegiately or professionally, or who want to explore that. So that's what I do. But we know that the mind is not the only important part and about up-leveling your game, and that there are other things that you can be working on. And so one of those things is physical, your body, your fitness. And that's kind of what Mark does.
That's what I do. Yeah. So my name is Mark Cormier, and I mean, I'm fortunate enough to be able to do this with Lauren, and I'm excited to do this. But I'll tell you a little bit about myself. I've been in fitness and training for about 12 years now. I actually do work at a college, and I actually teach people how to be personal trainers and strength coaches. And I've been doing that for about 10 years, as well as running my other business, which is CSC, where I train athletes and I train specifically golfers. And in Canada, in Hamilton, I'm about 30 minutes away from Toronto. But the unique thing about the world we live in right now is we were all introduced to this virtual platform. And I actually do train some golfers from the United States as well. But I've worked with athletes from all different sports. And in the last 5 or 6 years, I really decided to move towards golf. I'm obsessed with golf myself. I play golf all the time. If you're in here, I actually have a hitting bay in here as well. This is my gym. That is my obsession. And I decided if I was going to really do something to help people, I want it to be something that I'm passionate about. And that's why I took it the golf angle. And I've been working with lots of different golfers from around this area, as well as since COVID hit, from all over the world, really. I mean, because of the virtual platform. But I work with a lot more juniors. I work with some great players that are kind of going on. It's called the Toronto Players Tour, which is like a mini tour right before they would go to the Corn Ferry Tour, or eventually the PGA Tour. I aspire to be able to work with pros that are on the PGA Tour, and I think that I'm aligning myself in the right places to do that. There's a lot of great coaches in this area that I work with that we communicate, and we send clients back and forth to each other, and it's been great. But really what I want to do is I want to just help people learn and realize what fitness can do for not only golf, but for their life. And that's really what my mission and my vision is to really introduce fitness and make it part of your daily routine, or a habit that will stick, not just because you want to play golf, because you want to have a better quality of life. And the golf part is just the bonus. So yeah, that's a little bit about what I do. And I'm looking forward to, I mean, explaining a little bit more of the things that I do after Lauren goes up next.
Yeah, and I really love what you said about just helping golfers to be able to like get to that next level and really see what they're capable of and learn how to just fitness as a whole. I think that's so cool. And because that's kind of, I love golf as well. It's a major passion of mine. I'm kind of obsessed with it. And I love how powerful the mental game is. And I feel like it's a piece that a lot of people have missed. And so that's why coaching is so important. It's kind of like going to the gym for your brain, right? It helps your brain function in a way where you can perform at the highest level. And why it's not just your swing. Like your swing is not the problem. You can hit a great golf ball. You can make a putt. But when we can figure out some of the things that are happening in our mind, we become unstoppable as competitors, honestly. And what I teach, some of the things that I teach and focus on, we focus on confidence, how to create that for yourself. And just like Mark said, where he likes to teach you to be kind of self-sufficient physically, I want to teach you how to be self-sufficient mentally so that you can create opportunities for yourself on the golf course and play at an elite level. So that's kind of what I do, help people get better scores without practicing longer hours and teaching them how to own their thoughts.
Yeah, that's amazing. And I mean, fitness and the mental side of the game are things that are obviously newer to golf. I mean, relatively new in the last 30 years compared to what they were before then. I know that the mental game was always something that was, I mean, focused on, but maybe not like it is now. And I mean, you could elaborate on that. But when Tiger Woods really started to work out, people realized they had to work out, right? And that's what really started the whole fitness trend in the PGA Tour or in the professional ranks. And now you look at the top 10 players, top 50 players in the world, they're all athletes, right? So that's what I really want to try to bring to the table is to make everyone an athlete, because everyone is an athlete. It's just what level of athlete are you, right?
Totally. And I just want to jump in. I want to leave you guys with a couple things that you can start doing today. Whether you decide to work with me or not, I just think there are a couple things that can help you start getting out of your own way right now, things you can do on your own. And something I get the chance, like Mark, I get the chance to work with junior golfers, college golfers, and golfers trying to make it professionally. And it's awesome to see the change in them as they learn these skills and these techniques. But often one of the most common things that they struggle with is a fear of failure or a fear of success. So fear in general, there are two kinds of fears, failure and success. And so fear of failure, I think everyone is pretty self-explanatory. Fear of success, people are like, wait, what? That's what I want to do. But have you ever had that experience where you're like playing the best round of your life and you're lower than you've been, you're just like everything's coming together. And then you start to wonder if you can make it to the end. And then you start to have this expectation, like, can I do it? Can I get there? This is so common. I had a round like this in college. I shot 30 on the front. I shot 6 under on the front. And it was amazing. And I was like on this high, but then I started to get really like, oh my gosh, can I do this? What happens if I do this? Like, I don't know what comes next. And then I shot like 6 over on the back or 5 over on the back. And so it's so interesting how your mind works, right? It's not that I got worse as I kept playing, like my swing was still great. It was all between my ears, guys, all between my ears. And so I want to help you kind of stop that process. And so the first thing, I'm going to share my screen really quick because I want you to be able to write this down if you want. So give me just a second. So can you see that, Mark?
Yeah, you're good. Looks good.
So the 3 things. First, create awareness. Okay. A lot of us think that we just have feelings. They just happen because of things, but really you get to choose how you feel. And so this first step is creating awareness around that fear, right? Why are you afraid? Why is this happening? Are you afraid because of success, because of failure, failing at what, success at what? Are you afraid that you're not enough as a golfer? If you're not a golfer, who are you? Where's that fear stemming from? Okay. And that might take a little bit to answer, but dig deep because your brain knows the answer, I promise. Then number 2, I want you to start questioning why that fear may not be so scary, okay? It looks like one of my slides got messed up but I'll explain it. So start to question why that fear may not be so scary. What's the worst that can happen if you miss a 3-foot putt or you have a double bogey? Like, what's the worst that can happen? And you think, Lauren, I don't want to miss a 3-foot putt or have a double bogey. And it's true. But when you stop being afraid of it, then you just get up and do it. It's not even a big deal. It's like pouring a glass of water or turning on a light switch. Like once you figured it out, you don't even think about it now. You don't even notice it when you go in the room. And this is how your golf game can be if you let it, if you get out of your own way. So what is the worst that can happen? And what is the best that can happen? And start to explore those things. Okay? And then the third thing is choose to become the golfer that doesn't let fear hold them back. Like I said, fear is a choice. And it's a little deeper than that. It takes some time to explore that, but fear is a choice. And start to notice like the golfers that have the same goals as you did, like the professional, if you want to play professionally, look at professional golfers. If you want to play collegiately, look at college golfers. If you just want to win your high school state tournament, look at who won it last year. How do they walk? How do they talk? How do they carry themselves? How do they respond to adversity, to missed shots? Like, and take that in, write those things down, look at those things, and start to do those things. You don't need evidence to start doing that. You don't have to wait till you win a tournament, a state tournament, to start acting that way. You can start acting that way now. And I promise, as you become that golfer on your way, that you will be more successful on the course, 100%. And so those are just a couple things that I want to leave, some things that I teach from junior to professional that are just like a little dip in the pool of how to start getting out of your way. Just little things, and they sound little, but just try it. Just try it and see what happens.
And I'm going to go a different route. So I'm going to talk about some things that we can focus on at home on a daily basis to really improve our body's ability to function, our body's ability to reduce the risk of injury, and really just enjoy the quality of life that we're going to have. So all of my junior athletes, all of my athletes, I all give them recovery programs. So a recovery program would be something that you can do in 10 to 20 minutes, and it would be focused on mobility. It would be focused on bringing our body back to normal at the end of the day. I usually tell them to do this, maybe if you're watching TV at the end of the night on the ground, or if you're something you can do to start the day is the other route to go. But I'm going to leave something in the chat after where you have a free mobility workout that you can perform tonight after this is done. That will take you about half an hour, 20 minutes, half an hour, and you'll start to feel those improvements. Depending on where you are in your journey in your life is going to depend on what you should focus on. If you're a junior, maybe you need to focus on creating speed. Maybe you need to focus on creating athleticism, maybe size. Maybe you're a smaller kid, you haven't developed as quickly. If you're a senior, maybe you need to focus on maintaining some of that power you had and not losing that so you can still hit the ball far enough, but also really focusing on mobility to make sure that we don't get injured and we stay limber and we stay loose. So those are some things that you can really start to work on at home. I know in Canada, I'm still in lockdown in Canada, but gyms aren't even open here. So fitness at home has been a big part of our lives for the last little while. And I've had to be very creative with a lot of my juniors and a lot of my athletes that I work with and send them programs and use different things. Now, if you're in the States, I know it's a lot more open. You have the ability to go to the gym, but you don't always have to go to the gym. Like, I mean, you're home, and if you buy a couple bands and you get a program, a recovery program, or you understand how to kind of mobilize the areas you need to, you would see a huge difference in how your body moves and how your body feels. Our bodies need to be mobile in our ankles, our hips, our T-spine, and our shoulders, specifically for golf the most, your wrists as well. But those are the major movers, and those are the areas you want to focus on in order to stay mobile and really have that free-flowing swing that everyone is looking for. But I mean, I could talk about this for hours, really. But the big thing you can think about, no, not hours, we don't got time for that. But the big thing you can think about is find a recovery program. I don't care if you're 15 or if you're 55, that you do at least a few days a week that is going to keep you mobile and feeling good as you age. Now, I know people who are 50 and 60 who wish they started doing this when they were 30 or 20. I do mobility programs literally 7 days a week, 10 or 15 minutes at the end of the day. And when I used to not do that, I used to get hurt all the time. And I've noticed a big difference. And that's one of the things I'm going to challenge Lauren to do moving forward. And we'll see if she follows up and does it.
Okay, I'll get back to you on that. But I do know that what Mark is saying is true, and it makes the difference. And just like that, I mean, I've experienced we had actually someone who was focused on golf when we were in college, a trainer, and
Nice.
it made all the difference in the world. And I know that works. Like, how do I know that this mental thing works? Because I've been there. I felt both kinds of fears. I felt confidence. I felt not. I've played in the zone. I've played definitely not in the zone. And I realized that although the fear is real, I don't have to let my mind run my game. I get to be in charge. And so that's pretty exciting. And these are just a few great ways for you to start on your path to working on your mind and your body.
Yeah, for sure. No, it's good. And then the other part I wanted to really touch on is a little bit about junior golf, because I know Lauren works with a lot of junior golfers, and I do as well. And really that's where I want to take my career, to be honest, is to continue to help develop junior golfers. But I get questions all the time about when should I start training? I'm a junior, when should I start training? And I think that the word training or exercise aren't used the same way. My son is 3 years old. My son does obstacle courses in my gym every day. He runs over ladders, he jumps over hurdles, he throws sandbells, he does all that kind of stuff. I train a junior golfer in Georgia who's 7 years old, and he works out with me once a week for 30 minutes. And we pretty much play games, and I'm teaching him how to do things like run, skip, jump, throw, athletic movements to help him continue to develop. He's not lifting weights or he's not doing things like that, but he's continuing to develop. And then I go to the next step, and I have a 15-year-old who now has the ability to deadlift and has the ability to squat because he's been with me for the last couple of years, and I develop those movement patterns slowly. So really, I think the biggest thing I wanted to say about junior golfers is you really can't start early enough. And I think there's a big misconception and a big kind of everyone's, scared is maybe not the right word, but intimidated by putting their child in training because they think that it's going to hurt them or it's going to stunt their growth or something like that, where it's actually the complete opposite. It's going to help build them. It's going to give them confidence and actually allow them to understand how their body moves and works. And that's going to set them up for success a lot earlier in life, the earlier you do it. So, as a junior golfer, I'm not really focused on, I need to make your swing better. I'm focused on, I need to make you as athletic as I can so that when you do get to that skills component of golf, it comes to you a lot easier. And I have all kinds of training programs that I use with juniors. I actually find it's better to work with juniors over this platform and use their parents. So their parents actually help. And it's worked very well in the past. Everyone who's on this call, I'm going to send you a free copy of my Major Movements Decoded. It's an hour and a half video there. I go through exactly how to squat, deadlift or lift, lunge, pull, press, and carry, the major movements to do in the gym. And it'd be a great resource for anyone. But my takeaway message from that is, if you are a junior golfer or if you're a parent of a junior golfer, get them with a coach as early as you can. Especially since in a lot of our school systems, phys ed or gym isn't really a priority like it used to be. A lot of kids now just come home and they play video games or they sit in front of a TV. So, adding in another positive appointment every week is a good thing to think about. And if you are interested or you know anybody who's interested in junior golf development, obviously we'll have all our contact information at the end.
Yes. And just like you can do that, I'm going to actually throw a link in the chat, and everyone who's attended here today, I'm giving a free session. So you can, if you go schedule it there, it's a free 30-minute session. My sessions are 30 minutes, so not too long. But how you can work with me moving forward, I have a 6-week program that's a structured coaching program, and it's called The Art of Winning. And then I also do private coaching. So you can message me, email me, sign up for the free session I'm going to throw in the chat. And then I will also throw our contact information up here. And Mark can tell you a little bit about working with him. And I just want to say too, I think mentally you can't start early enough either. Like the things that we have going on in our mind, the things that we have to do every day, school, family, other sports, like it's a lot. And there's a way to make it so that your mind can be effective when you're in each place. And these skills that I teach will not only work on the golf course, but will work in all areas of your life, and it will start to translate. Like it'll just start happening because it's natural like that.
Yeah, and I want to echo that as well. Like that's literally what I say to parents of junior golfers and junior golfers when I see them. I say, I know you're a golfer, but I'm trying to really give you positive habits and positive things that are going to help you throughout the rest of your life. I'm going to try. I mean, I'm really a teacher at heart, so I'm really trying to teach and instill these skill sets that you're going to be able to take when you're not with me, right? And the same, I know Lauren, you're thinking the exact same thing, right? But I put in my website there. You can go on my website. I actually have two free ebooks you can download. All you got to do is put in your email address, as well as I have 2 free workouts on there, and the same thing. You just have to put your email address and you can get some workouts there. But all the information about my membership and pricing on how to work with me is there as well. I run Zoom sessions as well. Some of my clients actually like it better over Facebook. I don't know if you've ever done that. But that's a way we can train. If you are in Canada and you are in this area, it looks like gyms will be open in September, August. So that's probably when I will open up to live one-on-one training in person. But until then, I'll still do a lot of virtual training like I have been.
Awesome. Awesome. And just to wrap up, we'll take a few questions too. It looks like there are a couple questions. I saw this quote the other day and I loved it. Never forget that feeling fantastic is a massive magnet for summoning more magic. And I think that's what Mark and I want to do. We want to help you feel awesome about what you do physically and mentally so that you can perform your best and you can make magic happen. So then here is our information. Mark threw his website in the chat. Feel free to use it. And if you have any questions, we'll stay on for a few minutes to answer any questions you might have. So thanks so much for joining us today. And we're excited for a chance to maybe meet with you.
Thanks, everyone.
Yes, this is being recorded and we will send it to everyone that registered so that you can share it with your juniors or any other juniors that might be in your life or that you might be working with. Question for you, Mark. How many times a week should my junior golfer that's 15 years old work out?
So that's going to depend obviously on how much they're golfing. But I mean, so it depends on the style of workout as well. If it's a mobility recovery type workout, they can do that 5 to 7 times a day. You're really just doing movements without resistance or without weight. It's all body weight. So you don't need as much time to recover. If they are doing like more intense workouts where they're really getting their heart rate elevated and they're really stressing the muscular system, then I mean, usually juniors are 2 or 3 times a week, whole body workouts, really focusing on creating speed, athletic movements, sprinting, I mean, doing like ladder drills and stuff like that, as well as really introducing the major movements. So everyone needs to be able to squat, hinge, lift, pull, press, and carry. So those would be the things that you want to start to integrate into their programs. But I mean, it all is dependent on how much they're golfing. So a lot of the juniors that I work with, I actually tell them to work out after they play. So it's not going to affect how they feel when they're hitting a ball. So it's like when you're done your round, go do your 30-minute workout or your hour workout instead of doing it before and feeling, I mean, feeling tight or just not feeling loose, and then you don't play as well. And no one wants that.
Yeah, for sure. Been there. Jason, I'm going to allow you to talk because you raised your hand. Do you have a question? You should be able to unmute yourself now.
Oh yeah, you can unmute. Yeah, Jason, you can unmute.
There you go.
Sorry, I got my question answered. I appreciate it.
Oh,
no problem.
Perfect.
But I do appreciate your time and efforts.
Thanks, Jason.
For my junior and all the juniors out there.
Thank you.
No problem. Like Mark and I said, we love this. This is seriously, we could talk about it all day, but we won't because we know it's probably evening or on the verge of evening wherever you're at. And so again, thanks for joining us. Send you the recording. Please take time to schedule your free session and go watch Mark's video as well as download his free ebooks. It's awesome content that is free and available no matter if you decide to ever work with us or not. And so we're just here to add value and we're excited to meet you guys. So thanks for being here. Everyone have a great night.
Thank you very much.